Greetings, discerning listeners and profound appreciators of rock music's most challenging and rewarding epochs, particularly those who feel the transformative power of the progressive spirit coursing through the veins of classic rock from the 1970s. Today, we confront, analyze, and celebrate a composition that remains as jarringly vital and utterly magnificent as it was upon its release. A track that didn't just open an album, but seemingly ripped open the fabric of musical possibility itself. King, Crimson's 21st Century Schizoid Man, the utterly fearless opening salvo from their monumental 1969 debut, In the Court of the Crimson King. This track is not merely a piece of music. It is a sonic declaration of intent, a brutal fusion of disparate genres, and a chillingly prescient artistic statement that continues to echo through the decades, maintaining its capacity to shock, inspire, and provoke. Prepare to immerse yourselves in the controlled chaos and intellectual fire of this foundational progressive rock masterpiece, a composition that dared to be everything rock music, at that point, largely was not. Before we plunge headfirst into this maelstrom of sound and meaning, I earnestly ask you to lend your support by subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button. Your engagement is the engine that drives these deep explorations into the history and heart of profound music. The late 1960s were a fertile ground for musical experimentation, but even within that context of burgeoning creativity, King Crimson arrived as something wholly alien. Formed in early 1969 from a core that included guitarist Robert Fripp, drummer Michael Giles, and lyricist Peter Sinfield, and quickly solidified with the addition of multi-instrumentalist Ian MacDonald and vocalist-bassist Greg Lake, the band possessed a collective ambition that pushed far beyond the prevailing norms of blues rock, psychedelia, and even the nascent forms of heavy rock. Their background included jazz influences, Giles, classical sensibilities, Fripp, MacDonald, and a lyrical depth rarely attempted in rock, Sinfield, all coalescing into a unique vision. They sought to create music that was technically demanding, harmonically complex, dynamically varied, and thematically profound. In the Court of the Crimson King, their debut album, recorded relatively quickly at Wessex Sound Studios in London, was the immediate, uncompromised realization of this vision, an album whose impact was akin to a sonic meteor strike instantly, establishing King Crimson as pioneers of a new, more serious and artistically ambitious form of rock music that would soon be christened progressive. Within the groundbreaking landscape of that debut album, 21st Century Schizoid Man, including Mirrors, was positioned as the ultimate gauntlet thrown down, a track designed to immediately confront and challenge the listener. The title itself, suggesting a fractured psyche and modern detachment, hinted at the dark themes to come, but the music that followed was a complete subversion of rock expectations. Placing this nearly 7.5-minute epic at the very beginning of the album was a deliberate artistic statement. It wasn't designed for radio play. It was designed to signal that this album and this band were operating on a different level, prioritizing artistic expression and musical complexity over commercial accessibility. It served as an immediate filter, drawing in listeners hungry for innovation, while potentially alienating those comfortable with simpler structures, a bold move that paid off handsomely in establishing their uncompromising identity from the outset. The composition explodes into existence with what has become one of the most iconic and aggressive opening riffs in the history of recorded music. This angular, heavily distorted figure, played in an unrelenting 5/4 time signature, immediately establishes a sense of unease and violent energy. It's performed in unison by Robert Fripp's fuzz-laden guitar and Ian MacDonald's distorted saxophone, creating a unique, cutting timbre that few other bands had explored with such intensity. Beneath this riff, Michael Giles delivers a complex, powerful drum pattern that complements the unusual meter, locking in with Greg Lake's driving, yet agile bass line. Greg Lake's vocals, treated with a ring-modulator effect that renders them cold, mechanical, and dehumanized, are barked out over this intense foundation, perfectly embodying the titular character and the song's themes of alienation and modern decay, creating an immediate sonic landscape that is both musically formidable and conceptually chilling. Following the initial, tightly structured vocal sections, the track transitions dramatically into its expansive, improvisational centerpiece, the segment titled Mirrors. This section marks a distinct shift in musical approach, moving from the rigid, composed aggression of the opening into the freer, more fluid territory of jazz improvisation. It's a space where the band members engage in dynamic musical conversation, allowing their individual virtuosity to shine within a collective framework. Ian MacDonald's saxophone takes center stage, delivering a solo that ranges from melodic fragments to wild, atonal shrieks, engaging in call and response with Robert. Fripp's guitar work, which becomes increasingly experimental, utilizing feedback, effects, and abstract phrasing. This transition into unexpected improvisational territory serves as a crucial point of tension and challenge within the piece, disrupting conventional song structure and demanding the listener embrace unpredictability and dissonance. Within the A Mirrors section, Michael Giles's drumming is particularly noteworthy for its complexity and responsiveness. He doesn't merely keep time, he actively interacts with the soloists, providing a constantly shifting polyrhythmic landscape that fuels the improvisation and adds layers of percussive detail. His command of dynamics and his ability to move seamlessly between powerful grooves and intricate fills are on full display, showcasing his unique talent as a drummer who drew heavily from jazz sensibilities while operating within a rock context. The bass work, primarily attributed to Greg Lake on this track despite some later session player discussion regarding the album as a whole, provides a necessary anchor, but also contributes melodic and rhythmic ideas that weave through the improvisations, ensuring that even in its freest moments, the section retains a powerful forward momentum and a sense of collaborative intensity. After plumbing the depths of improvisational chaos in Mirrors, the track makes a jarring return to the main Schizoid Man theme. This abrupt transition back to the familiar, aggressive riff and distorted vocal sections serves a powerful structural purpose. It emphasizes the fragmented nature of the music and its lyrical subject matter, creating a sense of cyclical repetition and unavoidable reality after the brief escape into musical freedom. The impact of the initial theme feels even more potent and unsettling upon its return, heightened by the contrast with the preceding improvisation. This compositional device, the movement between rigid structure and free improvisation and back, is a hallmark of King Crimson's early genius and demonstrates their ability to create compelling musical narratives that defy traditional song forms, holding the listener in a state of fascinated suspense. Peter Sinfield's lyrics for 21st Century Schizoid Man are a bleak, poetic and unsettling commentary on the anxieties and dehumanization of the modern age, filled with vivid, often disturbing imagery. Iron-clad fist, politicians' grimaces, innocents raped with razor blades. The words paint a picture of a world marked by violence, alienation, and a loss of humanity in the face of technological advancement and societal breakdown. The Schizoid Man becomes a symbol of the individual's psyche, fracturing under the pressures of this harsh reality. Delivered through Greg Lake's chillingly detached, distorted vocals, the lyrics gain an almost prophetic quality, resonating with fears about the future that were palpable in the late 1960s and sadly remain pertinent today. The abstract yet powerful nature of the language invites interpretation, while clearly conveying a sense of deep unease and social criticism, adding crucial intellectual weight to the track's sonic intensity. The unprecedented blend of musical genres in 21st Century Schizoid Man is what made it such a pivotal moment in rock history and a key identifier of progressive rock. It took the raw power and volume of emerging hard rock, the complex, rhythmic and improvisational freedom of modern jazz, and elements of classical structure and dynamics, and fused them into a seamless, aggressive whole. This wasn't simply adding a saxophone or a piano to a rock band. It was fundamentally integrating different musical languages. This fearless stylistic synthesis created a powerful point of suspension and expectation for the listener. If a rock band could create this, what other musical boundaries were capable of being broken? It signaled that rock music could be a vehicle for serious artistic exploration, unbound by traditional constraints of length, form, or genre, setting a precedent for the expansive musical journeys that progressive rock would embark upon. Recording. A composition with the dynamic range, complexity, and sonic aggression of 21st Century Schizoid Man in 1969 was a significant undertaking. The production, credited to the band, managed to capture the raw power and intricate detail of the performance without succumbing to the overly polished sound of some later progressive rock productions. The decision to use real-time effects like the ring modulator on Lake's voice and the heavy fuzz on Fripp's guitar gave the track a gritty, immediate quality that enhanced it. Recording a composition with the dynamic range, complexity, and sonic aggression of 21st Century Schizoid Man in 1969 was a significant undertaking. The production, credited to the band, managed to capture the raw power and intricate detail of the performance without succumbing to the overly polished sound of some later progressive rock productions. The decision to use real-time effects like the ring modulator on Lake's voice and the heavy fuzz on Fripp's guitar gave the track a gritty, immediate quality that enhanced its unsettling nature. The engineering, particularly in handling the loud, dense passages alongside the more sparse improvisations, was crucial in conveying the track's full impact. It sounds like a live performance barely contained by the studio, a testament to both the band's energy and the skill involved in translating that to tape under the technical constraints of the era. The initial reception to 21st Century Schizoid Man and the album In the Court of the Crimson King was nothing short of revolutionary. Critics were divided. Some were bewildered or even repelled by the music's intensity and complexity, while others immediately recognized it as a groundbreaking masterpiece. Its performance at the free concert in Hyde Park, opening for the Rolling Stones, is often cited as the moment King Crimson truly arrived, reportedly silencing the massive crowd with the sheer force and innovation of Schizoid Man. Despite being completely unsuitable for mainstream radio play, the track's power resonated strongly with audiences, contributing significantly to the album's rapid ascent up the charts on both sides of the Atlantic. Its success proved that there was a substantial audience hungry for music that was challenging, complex, and uncompromisingly artistic, defying the conventional wisdom of the music industry at the time. And as you absorb the magnitude of this track's impact, please take a moment to like the video. Your support is invaluable in continuing these explorations. The legacy and enduring influence of 21st Century Schizoid Man are impossible to overstate. It is routinely cited by musicians across a wide spectrum of genres as a pivotal moment of inspiration. Its blend of heavy riffs, complex time signatures, and technicality directly foreshadowed and influenced the development of progressive metal and other forms of technically demanding rock music. The integration of free improvisation within a structured rock framework influenced bands exploring jazz fusion and experimental rock. Its abrasive tone and distorted textures also had a significant impact on the development of industrial music and noise rock. It set a new standard for what rock musicianship and composition could be, emphasizing skill, structural innovation, and a willingness to draw from any musical source necessary to achieve their artistic vision, proving that virtuosity and complexity could coexist with raw power and emotional impact. Within the specific history of progressive rock, 1st Century Schizoid Man stands as one of the earliest and most definitive examples of the genre's core tenets. It demonstrated the move away from the standard pop-punk rock song structure, utilizing extended length, complex, non-standard time signatures, and intricate compositional arrangements. It showcased the integration of instrumentation and musical ideas from jazz and classical music into a rock context. Crucially, it proved that rock music could serve as a powerful vehicle for serious, intellectual, and often dark thematic content, moving beyond the typical lyrical tropes of the time. The track, and indeed the entire album, provided a blueprint for the progressive rock movement, establishing a high bar for artistic ambition, technical execution, and thematic depth that would define the genre throughout its golden age in the 1970s and continue to inspire bands today. Synthesizing the myriad elements that make 21st Century Schizoid Man such a monumental achievement, one sees a confluence of fearless creativity, technical mastery, and a chillingly prescient artistic vision. The composition's brutal sonic impact, its intricate structural shifts, the virtuosic performances, the pioneering use of effects and instrumentation, and Peter Sinfield's disturbing lyrics all combine to create a piece of music that is profoundly challenging, yet utterly compelling. It is a perfect storm of controlled chaos and artistic intent, a reflection of the anxieties of the late 20th century that resonate even more deeply in the fractured digital landscape of the 21st. It is King Crimson at their most visceral and groundbreaking, a track that sounds as fresh, aggressive, and innovative today as it did over 50 years ago. A timeless masterpiece that continues to push the boundaries of what music can be. If this deep dive into the complexity and power of 21st Century Schizoid Man has ignited your passion for rock music that dares to be different, then you are in the right place. The channel PsychProg is dedicated to exploring these vital moments in music history, delving into the albums, tracks, and artists that have shaped the landscape of progressive rock, classic rock, and other genres that prioritize innovation and artistic expression. I wholeheartedly invite you to subscribe to our channel to join this ongoing journey of musical discovery and analysis. Your subscription is crucial for our growth and allows us to continue bringing you content like this. Please explore the other videos available. Each one is an opportunity to deepen your appreciation for incredible music. Share your thoughts on 21st Century Schizoid Man in the comments. Thank you for accompanying me on this intense sonic exploration. Until our next adventure into the realms of profound sound,